about the ability to screen share. Can we share our own slides when it comes to us?
Yes.
Okay, I must have been Franco.
Rachel, are you monitoring the chat box?
I just saw that one of our other Youth Brigade.
Yeah, I'm just doing it right now. Great. There we go. I left it.
Okay.
Still can't hear Jocelyn.
Go to by the microphone, by the mute and not mute microphone part. There's a little arrow, Jocelyn.
Okay, sorry.
There, I hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay.
Just turn it up or speak loud.
Hopefully
can-
you didn't hear me like yelling at my son.
It's muted, but your sound is coming through, but it's very muted. Like we won't be able to
Hear me?
It's really quiet.
Yeah.
So you guys can't hear me?
I can hear you, but it's super, super quiet, like barely hear you. Do you have another microphone plugged in?
You have headphones plugged? Can you just go grab them for me? Sorry guys, my new little puppies ate my laptop computer, so I am using a different computer.
Oh my gosh.
I can't wear those. Don't you usually have the plug-in ones that you use?
All right, it's 12. We can start whenever you think.
Yeah,
we're
the
ready.
live feed is just about to go to Facebook, and then I'll admit everyone else in the room in just a second here. And we're going live there. And I'll let everyone in the room at one time with one click.
Yeah, sure.
Great.
Where do they go?
Okay, that's live. And let's admit everyone now. There we go.
Can you hear me now, Rachel?
again, it's still pretty muted.
Okay.
I'll continue to monitor the admissions, but why don't I go ahead and start and then I can pass it on to you, Pratibha? How does that sound?
Yes, I think that
Great.
sounds great.
Well, first of all, I'd like to welcome everyone to the first Better Together Prelude, which is a special event in preparation for the March 20th, 2021 Better Together gathering, which will be, of course, under the similar format of Zoom. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce Pratibha Shah. And Pratibha Shah is the founder of the Wholistic Health Alliance. And I'll let Pratibha introduce her vision and looking at all of the work that's being done by the Wholistic Health Alliance and how this particular Passport to Wellness program came about. So Pratibha, the floor is yours.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Gregory, for the warm introduction. I will introduce the platform to all of you, and I will let Rachel talk a little more about what vision we have in the Better Together event, right? Okay, so first of all, thank you all for joining us in this voyage of wellness. I'm delighted to welcome you to the onboarding event of this unique voyage. Let me introduce you to the platform and the crew behind this journey of a lifetime. But first, let us take a minute to reflect on the truth of our lives right now. Even before COVID, how have we been doing as a people in terms of our physical, physiological, psychological, social, emotional well being? I'm sure you will agree with me when I say we are much more sicker as a nation than ever before. And our healthcare has shrunken to being limited to disease care. There is no consciousness, awareness, effort, enthusiasm, energy for real health and true wellness, which is not defined merely as an absence of disease. Rather, real health and wellness means joyful, wholesome, complete well being of mind as well as body as well as spirit in all dimensions of our living as an individual, as a family, and as a society. So, the only people that have been doing the task of educating and promoting ways of healthful living is the community of holistic practitioners, right? In different ways and with a variety of resources, they are constantly trying to swim against the tide of a disconnected, disempowered, and disenfranchised life. But so far, even though the holistic practitioners have been doing their efforts in their own nooks and corners, in their own ways, there has been no one single platform, no consolidated effort for unifying, holding, supporting, and nurturing this holistic community. So, Holistic Health Alliance was founded to do just that in 2015 as a 501c3 national nonprofit. We have a threefold mission at Holistic Health Alliance, which I will refer to as WHA. The first goal or mission is to create a connected and strongly networked community of holistic practitioners who can connect, collaborate, support, and lift one another. So you will all agree that there is no one single platform that brings us all together in our shared mission and vision, right? There are individual directories, individual forums, massage directory, yoga directory, etc. But there is no one single platform that brings us all together. And as you know, the title Better Together has so many different meanings. One of the meanings is also that we as a holistic community can be so much better together. So one of the primary goals of Holistic Health Alliance was really to form this single unified platform where all of us could come together with our common goals and aims to serve the community to be more wholesome and more healthful. The second goal is to enable and empower the general public through education and information dissemination about simple tools of primary prevention and holistic solutions for health and wellness, helping us meet our goal for building healthier communities. So we have to go out and educate the community unless they know what else is out there in addition to the pills and the standard of care. They will not be able to utilize what we have in mind. So the education, information dissemination part is really an important one. Our third very important goal is to build bridges with the mainstream medical fraternity to educate them about the integrative ways of healthcare for the best benefit of the patient. So the medical industry also needs to be educated and informed about how simple self-care tools, etc., can be integrated without really much problem at the federal level or at the policy level simple things can start to be integrated, and we are beginning to see that, but we have to do a lot more of, a better job of educating the medical fraternity of what else is out there, what are the consumers seeking, and how to help them help the patient better. So in a short span of 5 years, Holistic Health Alliance has expanded its presence to 2 states. The primary founding state is Massachusetts, and the second state is Colorado. So since about, I think, 2 years now, we have had a presence in Colorado. And 2021, for many reasons, has a very uplifting zing about it. We are all feeling like new things and new horizons are coming our way. So we are hoping with the really amazing people joining our team. We have Gregory, he's a powerhouse. So we are hoping to launch more state chapters in 2021. Stay tuned. We have so far conducted many community programs, health fairs, member dinner meetings, practitioner talks, picnics, and more. We continue to build on our outreach, and in 2021, we are poised to have a larger, stronger team at WHA and more practitioners joining the WHA group. I invite all holistic practitioners who are listening in today and all holistic patrons as well to go to our website, www.holistichealthalliance.org, holistic being spelled with a W. There is a story behind the W, and that's on our website. I will not be talking about that today, but www.holistichealthalliance.org, and join us in our mission to build healthier communities. Like any other nonprofit, we are also looking for donors and volunteers, so please do reach out and connect. You can also find us on Facebook as well as Instagram. Lastly, I would like to mention one of my most favorite initiatives, the Youth Brigade, where we are working to create youth health ambassadors and leaders. Our Youth Brigade president has already joined us here, very dynamic 16-year-old, and he will be talking to you a little bit about the Youth Brigade. And to conclude, if we can shift the definition of success from money and material to health and happiness, we might be able to become a healthier people and a healthier planet, and we might be able to ensure a healthier next gen. So with that, I pass on the mic back to Gregory. Gregory, who is next?
Thank you, Pratibha. Next, we have Rachel Cutsco, and I'll let you take care of your brief introduction if those do not know who Rachel is.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. And then we also did get a new message from Jocelyn that she wanted to be let in via her phone. So if you can just admit her as well.
Yeah,
thank you.
She's in. Yep.
Yep.
Great.
Good. Perfect. I just want to make sure. So my name is Rachel Cutsco, and I'm here now in Colorado via West Virginia, via Detroit, Michigan. And about 2 years ago, Dr. Donna J. Hinders, who's on this, as well as one of our fabulous speakers, and one of our other practitioners who works closely with us, we sat down together at a dinner, and we thought, we've worked together all the time, and we know these all other great practitioners in town in Pueblo, Colorado. We need to have some sort of alliance, some sort of holistic health alliance. I kid you not. And then Donna goes, but it has to be with a W. It has to be WHOLIS, holistic, not H, because we're as a whole. So the very next, and we're all energized and like, yeah, we're great. And I get online the next day and I type in Holistic Health Alliance, and it already existed. So I immediately reached out to Pratibha, and we formed our relationship and friendship there via emails, and that it was perfect timing for our first expansion. And so our first expansion was Colorado, with Pueblo, Colorado being the hub of our Colorado branches. So we're very excited, and we're constantly putting together how we can make the expansions into other states easier and more fluid. We love feedback from people, from practitioners, but just as Pratibha was talking about, we are slowly making our way across the nation, across the world, to bridge these gaps so that we can all work together and be better together for our communities, and bring in each one of our expertise so that we can all work well. Instead of working against each other, we can work together. So I just wanted to mention how we got our first expansion. It was a fun gathering, a fun couple of weeks and months of getting together. And we will have our larger March 20th summit, Better Together Summit. And we invite you all to reach out to us if you are a speaker today and you would like to be on our panel of experts during that event. I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. If you're here as a participant today, but you know of somebody that you think, or even yourself, that works within the wellness field that you would like to be a part of that, please reach out. We will have that contact information for you as well. I'll turn it back over to you,
Great,
Gregory.
thank you, Rachel. Yeah, I'll give you just a brief introduction. I received the final word about our two celebrated Youth Brigade officers, but Mr. Prakash is a sophomore in high school, 10th grade, in Westboro, Massachusetts, and he's been with the Holistic Health Alliance, the Youth Brigade, since August of 2019. He took the role of president of the Youth Brigade in May of the 2020. He's a varsity level athlete, played competitive club soccer for the last 8 years, which taught him the importance of collaboration, leadership, and building a strong and unified team. Mr. Govil is currently a sophomore in Charlotte, North Carolina, and has been working with the Holistic Health Alliance since April 2020 for the mobile app project. He is the technical lead of the team and is the developer of this app. One of his defining characteristics is his love for STEM fields like math and computer science, which he enhances through teaching he does. He also plays the violin and enjoys spending his time reading dystopian fiction. Wow. Need I say anything more?
Okay, great. I guess I'll get us started. Hi, my name is Agam Prakash. Sorry, I can't turn my camera on right now. My connection breaks up. However, I have a quick presentation about Youth Brigade for those of you who aren't familiar with us. To inform you on what we do, what like I'm doing here, and how possibly you can help us in the future expand this project, because I think it's a really great initiative for teaching youth about health. So without further ado, this is Holistic Health Alliance Youth Brigade. I'm the president, as Mr. Howell said, and Kshitij is the technical lead of our app team right now, but more about that later. So first and foremost, for those of you that don't know, what is Youth Brigade? Youth Brigade is well, it's a subdivision of Holistic Health Alliance, where we specifically have youth, teens, ages 13 to 19, involved in initiating and engaging in conversations around health. Today, what we find for kids our age is that there's minimal conversation around health. So it's not surprising that many kids my age and Kshitij's age make unhealthy choices as they enter high school and college because of ignorance and just lack of really caring about these things, which are really important for life. However, what we want Youth Brigade to be is a space where students can connect, discuss, and learn from their peers on the importance of health throughout life. Now, you may be wondering, who is Youth Brigade for specifically? As I mentioned, it's mainly for teenagers from the ages of 13 to 19. However, if somebody you know is interested in getting involved, we do have lots of activities and projects for those younger as well, so do not hesitate to sign up if you're below the suggested age range. We believe healthy habits should be taught and implemented young, because a healthy childhood ensures a healthier and productive life. And of course, this leads to a healthier community and world at large, which is what our goal is here. Now, what have we done in the past to give you a better idea? Before the pandemic, we were able to hold lots of events within the community, mainly in Massachusetts, because that's where I'm located, that's where Brother Von D is located. We held events on healthy eating, lifestyle, and choices. This included picnics, workshops, my apologies, and other events to inform youth in the community on how to live a healthy lifestyle. Of course, because of the pandemic, a lot of these in-person things had to be shifted to an online standpoint, an online platform. However, that was difficult to do these types of workshops from that area because you didn't have that personal touch. So we shifted gears to help raise awareness on the issues that afflict our communities involving health. The most prominent of this was the app project, which I started in late April of 2020. Kshitij will talk more about that later, get you all very well introduced to that, and that app will be launching in March. Now, what's planned for the future is that the main thing and most prominent most prominent project we are going to be starting is a teen mental health initiative. This is an initiative we're going to be beginning in optimally late February, early March, to raise awareness and, more importantly, act against the raging epidemic of mental health problems that afflict teenagers today. We plan on accomplishing this through working with schools, partnering with other organizations, and possibly even connecting with lawmakers to help identify and solve the problems that are not being addressed in our communities today on teen mental health. In addition to this, we'd like to continue to raise awareness through dedicated blogs, social media outreach program, and much more. So these are kind of some of the things that we have planned for the future. In addition to this, we have some media projects that we're going to be starting where youth can start, creating content and helping teach others about the importance of living a healthy lifestyle. Thus, kids can learn from others, and everybody can, we can build this community to raise awareness and obviously enact change in our world. So why should you or somebody you know join Youth Brigade? Like I've said time and time again, the easiest way to learn on how to live a healthier lifestyle for kids is from others their own age, because when they see other people their age care about this, obviously they're going to be more inclined to do the same. In addition, leadership positions are opening up specifically for the Teen Mental Health Initiative. So if somebody you know is interested in something like that, definitely reach out. It's a really great opportunity. We offer volunteer hours if that's something that interests you. And it's a relatively easy way to make a difference in your community and the world regarding health, right? A lot of these things, if you do want to make a change, it's often very difficult. We're giving a platform because we want other kids to be able to make a difference and help the world out. So if you or somebody you know is interested, please visit our website and register. Or if you have more questions or you think it'd be easier, you can email me, agamog@gmail.com. I'll put my email in the chat. And to sign up, you can visit our website. And yeah, that's it. I hope we can. I hope you kind of understand what we're about now more, and I hope that you'll be willing to join and reach out. And if you have some youth who are, interested in something like this, definitely feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Agam, I think everybody would love to see you. Can you come on the camera?
Yeah, sure. I've worked with Agam before. He has the best hair on the planet. So
I agree.
Yeah, it's a little bit messy right now. I apologize, but thank you.
So I just want to quickly add one thing, that the opportunity to join Youth Brigade is available across state lines. I mean, there is no limitation to Massachusetts or Colorado. We have already done some youth events in 2020, and we had attendance participation from 4 or how many states, Agam? 4?
Yeah, I think it was a total of 4: North Carolina, Arizona,
4 states. Yeah. And just to put a little story to the whole Youth Brigade, getting Agam on board, that I met Agam when he and his family came to one of our picnics organized by Wholistic Health Alliance, which was open to the community, and which I want to also plug in one more thing here, that everything we do, we also do for the keeping the health of the planet in mind. And all of the things we did in that picnic, including all of the food and everything, was recycled, composted, etc., everything. So there was messaging throughout, while we also involved them in fun games, activities, and messaging. And that's where I found my next president. He joined as a volunteer, he became the vice president, and now he's the president of the Youth Brigade, the current president. So thank you. Thank you so much, Agam. I think Kshitij is here. So Kshitij, please do talk about how the app project came about, and yeah, a little more. He's also one of our Youth Brigade leaders.
Right. So hi, everyone. I'm Kshitij Govil, and I am the technical lead behind the app. I do all the programming, and I work with our Youth Brigade to help make the app for Wholistic Health Alliance. So what exactly is this app project about? So we spend most of our time on our mobile devices, all the way from we wake up to the time when we sleep. We carry our phones around with us. So this is why Wholistic Health Alliance decided to make a mobile app for Apple and Android users, so that it can increase the convenience for users to access Wholistic Health Alliance's resources. So why do we need an app? Well, the number one reason that apps exist in the first place is to enhance the user experience. We want new people who are coming to Wholistic Health Alliance to realize what kind of great resources and a community that Wholistic Health Alliance provides. And we want them to stick with us and continue to build upon the community and build upon what we truly believe and stand for. Furthermore, this app will help us increase our outreach towards new members. With an app, people can easily share the app to other people, allowing Wholistic Health Alliance to gain more members and a bigger community. Furthermore, this will allow us to engage with users and practitioners. Currently in the app, there is a way for users to look at practitioners and see what all they do, like what modalities they do, how to contact them, and what kind of articles they write about. This will not only allow users to find the practitioners that they want to go ahead with and communicate with, but it also allows practitioners to expand their outreach and to make themselves more widely known and gain consumers and customers. So what exactly did we do in the app? Well, we started this app in April. We started this app in April 2020, towards the end of April, and we went through many different stages. So our first stage was research, in where we conducted multiple surveys for both practitioners and consumers and looked at what all they wanted from an app. What would they want from an app that would help them and make their lives easier? Then we move towards design. So these screenshots over here is some of the design pages that we made, and we're currently still making them, but this will allow us to help make the app look nice. So this is what the design team did, which was led by Agam. And then here's the programming, which was led by me, which I did. So I wrote approximately 3,800 lines of code, all for the app. And here's a sneak peek of what the app might look like when we launch it. So right now it looks like this, but our goal is to make it more to look like the wireframes. But as you can see over here, we have a homepage where you can look at articles. We have a directory where you can look at practitioners, and practitioners themselves can upload articles for anyone to see. And this is what a preview of what the practitioners, what the article would look like from the user side. So what are our next steps? Right now, we're in the beta testing phase. We would like more practitioners to come to us and help us test out the app by giving us content so we can put it on the app and see how it looks and how it works. Next, after the beta test is over, we're going to put it on iOS and Android and gather feedback from more people so that we can update the app in order to increase our outreach and increase and maximize the consumer benefit that we get. So if any practitioners are interested in joining our beta test to help make the app look better and become better, they can email holistichealthlines.group@gmail.com in order to join this initiative. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. You stayed right on time. We're right on time. That's fantastic. And I have to say, as a former programmer, having worked in mobile app development, I attended several of their meetings, and they're truly extraordinary. And what they're able to develop, and by really tailoring it to not only just the audiences of the practitioners, but also to the consumer, they've done an outstanding job. So I can't wait to see. And if you are interested, as was just mentioned, definitely contact them, because the more people that actually use it in advance, the better the product is eventually. So again, thank you for that. And we're right on time. So I'd like to move into our first speaker. And just to give you a little advance notice, what we've done is each speaker will have a certain amount of time to speak. And what we've done is we've created breakout rooms for each one of the speakers. So after we go through all of the presentations, you will be able to freely move from room to room to ask questions of any of the practitioners. What I ask you to do is, there's a limited amount of space in the title of the breakout room. So we of course have the full name, and we've tried to give as much information as possible as to their focus. So key in on their name. If there's something about the presentation you really like, that'll be your lead to go in and out of the breakout room. And we'll have 10 minutes at the conclusion of this to roam through the breakout rooms. If we need more time, I can give you more time, but that's the way it's going to unfold. So first, I'd like to start with Jocelyn Martinez from Colorado.
Gregory, can I have Rachel quickly talk about the wellness destination? Just 1 minute.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry
about that, Gregory. And just a brief, I'll answer any more questions at the end. So I'll just introduce this. So you guys have all embarked on our voyage of a lifetime. So we have included our passport to wellness. And so here at Fit Instincts in Pueblo, Colorado, we have printed out copies of your passport already, but we will also be putting them up online. Pratiba already put one document online that you can print it off yourself. You will keep track on your passport to wellness of the destinations that you visit, and we'll stamp There we go. We'll stamp it. Gosh, these screens. There we go. We'll stamp it or mark it as a practitioner. As you continue going to each one of those wellness practices throughout town or virtually, every time you visit with a practitioner, that gets you your name in the drawing again for our March 20th summit, where we have excellent drawing prizes in our drawings. Things like Berkey water filters, free consultations and assessments with our wellness providers, a lot of really big, great things. So I'll talk more or answer any more questions about that at the end.
Great, thanks, Rachel. So Jocelyn Martinez from Colorado, her topic is benefits of building a positive, healthy relationship between our body and food. Jocelyn Martinez is a certified mastery health and wellness coach, as well as a certified empowered well-being coach who focuses on building a positive foundation based around the connection between the body and the mind. Jocelyn assists her clients in shifting habits and mindsets that keep us in survival mode instead of thriving mode. Jocelyn supports her clients by empowering the relationship we have with our bodies and our food that supports our bodies so we can create a balanced, healthy lifestyle. Rachel is going to be offering a 10% discount on your first month of Soul Smile Healthy Meal Program and or the free Soul Smile one-on-one coaching clarity call. So with that, I pass it over to Jocelyn.
Hello, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Perfect. I'm so glad to be here with you guys today, and I'm so glad that you all are here to help us spread our passion for health and wellness. So little to be true, when I found out I was first and I was having some computer issues, I almost pulled a Brene Brown and bounced out of here. And but I said, hey, show up. This is our call to courage, right? So again, my name is Jocelyn Martinez, and I am in the Pueblo area, where I am the founder of Soul Smile Health and Wellness. Gregory told you a little bit about what I do. And I want to kind of let you guys know that my personal journey has become my passion. About 5 years ago, I had to make the choice that what I was doing just was not working, and that I could not keep barely surviving in this life. I was stressed out to the max. My body was inflamed so bad that I could barely walk some days. I had headaches. I would break out in rashes, and I had so many more ailments that I just can't even explain right now. But the whole picture is I was a mess. So I look at it now, and I just know that it was my body's way of screaming at me that something was wrong, that I needed to look at my approach and how I was living this beautiful life that I have. I felt like I had exhausted all my questions with all the same answers with different doctors, specialists, practitioners. And if anyone in here has been through a health journey or a health crisis, sometimes it could be really stressful when you aren't getting any answers and you're not getting any better. So this is when I really had to be my own coach and look at how I was treating my body and how I was fueling my body. And so I want to let you guys know it's very important to note that what I ate, I felt was deemed a very healthy lifestyle. I felt like I was eating right for my body. I was eating Ezekiel toast. I was eating Greek yogurt. I was eating vegetables and lots of grains. And it wasn't until I found a holistic approach and actually started getting to the root of my health issues. And I realized I was allergic to dairy, gluten, shellfish, malt. You guys, these are some of the top major food allergens. And what I've also found is gluten and dairy for me was my main catastrophic inflammation problem. And so no wonder why my body was attacking itself, right? No wonder why I was so sick and I was so unhappy in this life that I have. So making that shift, right? Getting this information can be very overwhelming, which creates stress, and stress creates inflammation. So I had to kind of look at a whole new approach and really give up my entire lifetime of how I was eating and how I was feeling my body. And it was, like I said, it was stressful, but that stress, you guys, opened up the part of my story to the why I do what I do, and I get to do what I do now. And so I dove all into changing my lifestyle completely. And once I changed my eating habits and started changing the way I spoke to this body of mine that promoted a conversation, that's when it all shifted, right? That's when it all opened up. When the gut is healthy, the mind that begins to become clearer, our bodies start to function like the well-ran machine that it is. So I want you to know that that connection between body, mind, and the environment around us is so important. Okay, we're never alone. If we listen to our body, it's going to tell us what it needs. And so it's just important to note here, you guys, that we are all given very unique bodies. So what is deemed healthy for me is not necessarily deemed healthy for you. But the beautiful thing is your body will tell you by giving you a reaction that is either positive or negative to the food that we fuel it with. So it's up to us to take note of it and to know if it's a bad reaction, we don't want to feel like that. So take that food off your list, right? Stop eating those foods and see how you feel. But when it's a good reaction, we feel full of vitality and energy, and we feel like we could conquer the world. And then we know to eat more of those foods, 100%, right? So by consuming foods that are loaded with antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals, we are creating a healthy lifestyle to promote healing, recovery, immunity, and just an overall healthy body environment. You guys, health is truly our wealth, and life is way too short to be unhealthy. And I know because I spent years on the unhealthy roller coaster, right? But it wasn't until I changed my mindset that it doesn't need to be this hard and I shouldn't have to live like this. So I just want to share some long-lasting, exceptional benefits of building a positive relationship to your food and to your body. So one, which I think is so important right now with everything that's going on in the world, is it increases immunity. You know, by eating healthy and talking to yourself lovingly and having a healthy body environment, our body builds a healthy immune system. And like I said, we need that more than ever right now. Two, which is one of my all-time most important, most favorite, is it builds a positive self-image. It builds a positive body, right? Like a body connection. And so when our bodies feel healthy, we feel healthy. When we feel healthy, we're more comfortable in our skin. And I want to note here that when we eat a healthy lifestyle for our unique bodies, each of us have these beautiful, unique bodies, the weight will come off. So let's not worry about that. However, you must speak to it kindly. And I was the worst. I was such a negative, self-hate person. And I was like, oh my gosh, like you don't grow in this environment. And so if you speak to your body in a negative way, it's going to feel unsafe. And it doesn't matter how healthy you eat or how many salads you eat or how much you run, your body is going to hang on to that unneeded weight because it feels like it's in fight, flight, or freeze mode, right? Our body doesn't know the difference between being chased by a lion and being stressed out. It's going to react the same. So your body also thrives in a positive, loving environment. So talk to it like it is the most loved person you know, you guys, because it's seriously the most important relationship that we have. 3, it boosts brain health. Eating healthy elevates your mood. When you're in a good mood, your environment is more positive, right? It improves digestion. When your whole body is functioning in this optimum happy mode, I'm not saying we have to be happy all the time, you guys. I'm just saying, you know, who are you being when you're eating? Your body will digest your food the way it's supposed to. Again, it's a well-ran machine. So Another one, it improves skin health and aging. You guys, none of us are Benjamin Button. We are not going backwards here. So we must take care of our bodies, and then our epidermis is going to shine and flourish as well. Another one, it reduces stress. By eating foods that are high in antioxidants, it helps reduce stress in the body and reduces inflammation. So all of this is great, you guys. This is just shifting a positive relationship to our food and our body, and a positive relationship to the world that we are creating around us. And it has so many benefits. So I just want to say it is seriously the most important thing to build that relationship and that connection. So how you live your one magical life truly depends on it. So we're here in this community. Thank you for letting me share a little bit of my passion with you guys. If you have any questions, I'll see you in the breakout rooms. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Jocelyn. You did it exactly to the 10 minutes. So thank you so much for keeping us on track. My takeaway from that was health is wealth. And I just like that. It rhymes and it really rings true. So let's move to our speaker number 2. But before I do, Kathy, did you have your hand up? Did you have something you wanted to ask? Okay, I guess not. I'm going to lower your hand. Okay, let's go to speaker number 2. And Judy, excuse me, I didn't have a chance to ask you how you pronounce your last name, so I'm going to let you do that. But let me tell everyone a little bit about you. Today, Judy's topic is get the most for your money, increase the nutritional value, and decrease the toxins in your food. Judy has always been interested in health and disease prevention. After graduating from the College of Osteopathic Medicine and Surgery in Des Moines, Iowa, she completed a residency in pediatrics at Thomas Jefferson University, a fellowship in community pediatrics and child advocacy at the Children's Health Fund in New York City, and worked in medical education and practiced pediatric and osteopathic medicine for 20 years. Through the years, Judy saw the people that were training and were being trained to take care of, there were terrible habits related to nutrition, sleep, exercise, and prioritizing their own health. Many developed chronic illnesses at young ages. These were the people who are supposed to support our health, yet they don't know where to start or how to prioritize their own health. And Judy decided to adjust her focus to assisting people achieve optimal health through prevention and addressing the root cause of disease. There's quite a bit more about Judy, which I'm going to let her complete through her presentation. But Judy, I give you the floor.
Thank you. So yes, as Gregory said, I worked as a pediatrician and in medical education and osteopathic medicine for over 20 years. And so I bring to my functional and lifestyle medicine consulting a very strong scientific background. I focus my practice on helping busy, stressed out parents optimize their health and that of their family so they can feel their best and they're more productive and they model great habits to their kids. My primary interest is affecting the next generation. So I help them to be the healthiest family on the block and then hope that spreads through their community. And so let's see, I actually, seems like there's a lot of practitioners on the call. So you guys are going to be very familiar with most of what I tell you. This is really, I planned this for the patrons. But my topic, as Gregory said, is saving money while improving nutrition and decreasing toxins. And it can be really costly to eat clean, but there are ways to save in the short term. And for sure, long-term, it's cost effective. Because our choices really affect our biochemistry and our physiology of our body very directly. So those, as building on what Jocelyn said, stress, nutrition, toxicity all affect our level of inflammation and involves how they involve how our body operates, the nutrients needed for our bodies to function, how our genes are expressed, how our body is able to detox, because our body needs nutrients to remove those toxins. and we're surrounded by toxins. That the fact that we're surrounded by toxins is in a new issue. Really came to light quite a bit in early 1960s with the book Silent Spring, which was about the industry, mainly about the indiscriminate use of pesticides. Sorry, I keep slurring. I actually had dental surgery, so I'm not talking the way I usually talk. Anyway, so when we start to learn about all these toxins in our food, naturally in our food, that comes into our food, that's put on our food, it can become very overwhelming, and really they're all around. They're in what we inhale, we drink, we eat, and what we absorb via our skin. So what we can do is minimize them and work to limit their use. Regarding nutrition as well, there's a lot of confusion, and it's really because studies on nutrition are very difficult to do, but also because they're often sponsored by big business and groups with vested interest. So nutrition labels were a great starting point, but they really don't provide enough. I have had a friend who was really, really brilliant, Harvard Business School graduate, but he would look at these food nutrition labels. This is going back quite a while, about 15 years. He would look at these labels and he'd say, so what's in it? And, the macronutrients, right? Protein, carbs, fat. Well, why do I have to eat a variety of things? Why can't I just eat protein, carbs, fat? This really bright guy says to me, but he was not realizing about all of the micronutrients and all of the phytonutrients and all the really little things that aren't measured and put on these labels. The labels don't include enough. And who remembers the Breyers ice cream ad? I mean, it was actually in the 80s, I think, and then it came back, but where the little kids are reading the label. And from the point of view of recognizing all of the ingredients, that's huge. Being able to look at a label and recognize the ingredients is a great clue. If you can't recognize the ingredients, I'd bypass it. But also the order, I mean, most people know this already, but the order that they're in is the percentage, or is the, how much of each one is in there. But there's a lot of issues, a lot of things aren't required. And also people get around these nutrition labels. So what was I going to say? For example, trans fats, right? Cool Whip is trans fat free. How is that when it's actually made up of trans fats? Because they can report, that's how they can report it. The Food and Drug Administration allows them to report if it's less than 0.5 grams of trans fat, it can be in a serving, it can be labeled trans fat free. So it can be very confusing, but really it's important to go back to basics. So the quality of what's the quality of the food in the supermarket? What percentage of food is actually really food in the supermarket? Very little. Most products are combinations of corn, soy, flour, and chemicals, trans fats, GMOs, sweeteners, colors, additives, preservatives, and food that's affected by antibiotics, pesticides, genetic engineering. If you want a very interesting book, I actually listened to it. It was awesome to listen to. The book, Sugar, Fat, Salt, talks about how the food giants affected our foods, mostly actually snack foods and processed foods, all processed foods. And it's by Michael Moss. And before that, even as early as the 50s, the food production companies got together and wanted to, made it all about convenience. So with crap food, it's not only low in nutritional value, but it creates an increased demand on the nutrients to process and help the body deal with what we put in it. So all these foods are irradiated, stripped down, and all of the micronutrients are removed. And sometimes they're even fortified, but that not a real benefit. Okay, I'm running out of time. So the recommendations, I'm going to skip some things. Recommendations for years has been to shop the perimeter of the supermarket, and that stands. But we also have to look at the quality of items that we purchase. So it's better to be real, local, when possible, fresh, but sometimes frozen can save money and also preserves nutrients when an item's out of season, and as close to the original form as possible. So that takes care of additives that would be and chemicals that would be added in into processed foods. But we also have to be aware of pesticides, herbicides, and the biochemical makeup that's made that the food that affects the food based on how it's grown or raised. So if you're concerned about pesticides, we should be concerned about pesticides, and I recommend buying organic or biodynamic or regenerative when possible. You can actually make your own food wash, and the best one that I found is 1 part salt, 9 parts water, soak for 20 minutes, and then rinse really well. And that takes care of surface pesticides, but there are a lot of things that are still absorbed into the plant and actually concentrated, particularly in the case of animal products. The EPA even says that 95% of the exposure of these dioxins and dioxin-like products are from animal fat. And that's because the body takes these toxins out of the bloodstream in an attempt to protect the body, and it creates stores of chemicals in the fat. So that happens in animals, but it also happens in us. And it's one reason that we sometimes hold on to fat if our bodies have a lot of toxins in it. So vegans are found to be have significant lower levels than omnivores of a lot of these chemicals and of heavy metals. Plant foods have been demonstrated to protect us against them if they're consistently eaten, and also fiber can wash out some, particularly the heavy metals. And even if we eat whole natural foods, we're struggling to get the appropriate nutrition because the nutritional value has decreased significantly over the years since the 70s. Beyond that, but particularly one study in Scientific American actually documents it from 75. So there's varied results as far as looking at the nutritional content of organic versus conventional. It certainly takes care of less pesticides, and if it's whole food and in a natural form, it's going to take care of those added chemicals. But we also want to look at how the item is, if it's a plant, what the soil is like, because the soil erosion is a huge, and farming methods have had a huge effect on the nutritional value. So that's where organic and biodynamic regenerative farming can benefit the quality of the item, and also factory farmed. Oh, yep, I need to conclude. Yep, I'm almost done.
Just about there, Judy. Yeah.
Yep, you got it. The quality of the food, and I can go into that more with anyone individually. Also, how it's packaged and how it's stored. Look at, we all know about BPA, but look at buying things in glass and storing things in glass, as well as cooking. And then look at your cooking methods. And that's it. So one other thing I'll just mention is that I market Clean Crafted Wine, which is organic. It's beyond organic, but we lab test each batch twice to make sure that it doesn't have any of the commonly used added chemicals in mass-produced wines and commonly used pesticides. And so you can look to some companies to vet things for you where it's not on a label, because it's not required to. Like, you wouldn't think wine would have all these things because it's not necessary. So look at different foods, and if it has a nutritional or a health claim on it, I would disregard it generally. But if a company has vetted things for you and you know what they've vetted, then you can use that to help you.
Great.
Right, thank you, guys.
Thanks, Judy. And I'll mention, and you'll have more time, I'm sure, if you have any other questions during the breakout period, but the discounts that Judy will be offering, there are 3. The first is a free 15-minute strategy call to see if working together is the right fit. I like that. 2 is 20% off on her 90-minute health history status evaluation. And number 3, as she had just mentioned, 15% discount on the Scout and Cellar wine for a first-time customer. So thank you, Judy. Let's move on to our speaker number 3, Dr. Donna J. Hinders from Colorado. And Donna's topic today is little known essentials for healthy immune response. Dr. Hinder specializes in upper cervical specific chiropractic, brain-based wellness, and whole food nutrition. Dr. Donna J. Hinders has been in the practice of drugless therapeutics as a chiropractor for over 36 years in Pueblo, Colorado. Her motto is nature first, pharmacy last. Dr. Hinders' focus is on restoring function to the brain and nervous system, the control system of the body with the chiropractic adjustment of the spinal subluxation. We have her discount program, new patient assessment for $79. This is regularly a $279 value. This includes consultation, exam, all indicated testing and reports. And with that, I will give the floor to you, Donna. And you'll need to unmute yourself.
Okay. Thank you, Gregory. I'm so excited to be with this group. Like, this is my tribe. And thank you, Pratiba and Rachel, for the work you've done with Holistic Health Association. It's wonderful. And Gregory, thanks for joining us and helping us with technology, which is something I have struggled with. I'm gonna find my slides here. Okay. So nature first, pharmacy last. You know, we have come through a year of insanity, which continues on, that we have forgotten the power of nature to heal. And we've been taught from mainstream media that there's nothing our bodies can do to fight infection. Nothing could be further from the truth. So the Chinese say, where there is no door, disease cannot enter. Why do we get sick in the first place? Our bodies are designed for self-healing. Our immune systems did not forget how to function in 2020, and nature did not suddenly become incompetent. Oh, and masks are not a substitute immune system, just saying. So we know that stress weakens our immune function. That's, you know, everybody knows that, but we have to repeat it because we've been under a lot of stress. What is not known about chiropractic is actually a lot. One, that chiropractic impacts the brain, that chiropractic adjustments neutralize stress and restore function to the nervous system. So Dr. Roger Sperry won the Nobel Prize for discovering that the spine is the motor that drives the brain. If the spine doesn't work right, the brain doesn't work right. And when the spine is not working right, that's called a subluxation. And it's like having the dimmer switch on your nervous system, which is the control system. And if we don't, I don't know why we don't talk about this more, but like, hello, we've got to have a functioning brain and nervous system. Our immunity is directed by our nervous system. There are studies all over the place about this. Chiropractic adjustment reduce sympathetic dominance. What does that mean? Neutralizes stress in the system. We all need that. And every adjustment enhances immunity. So if our brain is not working right, we cannot have a viable immune system. It's essential. It's like having a house without an electrical system and you expect the lights to work. It's not going to happen. So the germ theory is something we got to talk about, because do rats cause garbage? I don't think so. Germs are the evidence of illness. In other words, you have to be sick to get sick. And Dr. B.J. Palmer, who is the developer of chiropractic, said, if the germ theory were true, there would be no one left alive to believe it. We have a whole culture thinking that masks are a substitute immune system and they have to be afraid of a virus. Why? We don't have to be afraid of a virus. What we have to be afraid of is being so unhealthy that we could succumb. So the immune alliance it's important to know what are the elements: thymus, spleen, bone, stomach, lungs, microbiome, liver. All of these things are part of the immune alliance and must be supported to have immune health. Only food nourishes the body. We got to eat real food. Food can either be the safest, most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. We get to pick. And the other presenters have said so much about that. Dr. Royal Lee is the founder of Standard Process and an amazing inventor. My favorite quote, one of the biggest tragedies of human civilization is the precedence of chemical therapy over nutrition. It's a substitution of artificial therapy over natural, of poisons over food, in which we are feeding people poisons, trying to correct the reactions of starvation. That's insane. The body cannot make something out of nothing. We can't poison ourselves to health. And here's another one of my pet peeves. Ascorbic acid is not vitamin C. It is the shell of the vitamin C. All vitamins are complexes. If you want your immune system to be armed with the spear of vitamin C, you have to take real vitamin C, which is only found in food. Ascorbic acid will not protect you. So Dr. Royaley's triad of immunity, this is so important because most people do not realize that if you don't have bioavailable ionizable calcium, you cannot fight an infection. If you have people who are sick in the hospital, ask them to check their serum calcium. If you have good serum calcium, you're likely to survive a catastrophic illness event. The other part is cataplex F, or essential fats. And the other part is cataplex C, or whole food vitamin C, like in lemon juice, lime juice. So that's the triad of immunity. It's critical. And the other thing that happens is people are like all over vitamin D. Well, we do need vitamin D. It's critical. But if the vitamin D is not balanced with essential fats, you're going to be in trouble. Vitamin D holds calcium in the blood. If it's held in the blood, it's not available to help you fight invasions of microbes or to do anything else that calcium does in our systems. So it's all about building resiliency and adaptability, and we can only do that with nature. As Dr. Judy spoke about, as Jocelyn spoke about, you know, we have to have a good relationship with food, with our bodies, and how we increase our resiliency, our ability to bounce back, is taking care of ourselves, is getting chiropractic adjustments on a regular basis, is hydrating, is feeding ourselves with real food, and understanding that there is no way on God's formerly green earth we can eat ourselves to health. Do we have to eat good? We do. What Dr. Judy talked about is critical. And we have to supplement with whole food supplementation, because that is how we protect our bodies from toxins, and that is how we enhance our immunity, and that is how we are resilient enough to face whatever the challenges are that we face. Robert F. Kennedy said, "Few have the greatness to bend history itself, but each of us can work to change a small portion of events. It is from numberless diverse acts of courage and belief that human history is shaped. Each time a man stands up for an ideal or acts to improve the lot of others, or strikes out against injustice, he sends forth a tiny ripple of hope, and crossing each other from a million different centers of energy and daring those ripples to build a current which can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance." And we are there. We have to take our freedom back and get as resilient and adapted as possible. Here's a great immune supporting beverage. San Pellegrino sparkling mineral water is the highest bottled water source of ionizable calcium. Add some fresh lime juice and you have whole food C, and you could do some organic vodka. So lots of assessments in my practice, so we can talk about those in the breakout rooms and how to get a sense of if your immune system is healthy and your body is healthy, because a healthy body has a healthy immune system. Thank you.
Thank you. And again, Dr. Hinders will be available in the breakout rooms. And as we said before, you'll be free to move freely amongst those rooms. So don't think you just are limited to one. So let's move on to speaker number 4, Ivan Pardo of Massachusetts, who is a Buteyko practitioner. His topic is refocus on breathing for your overall health. And his promotion is a 20% discount on his services for groups of 10 or more. Ivan is a Buteyko master trainer working in the Buteyko Clinic. He is a member of BBEA, the Buteyko Breathing Educators Association, and he also belongs to IACT, International Association of Counselors and Therapists. He collaborates worldwide with other holistic specialists, assisting with information and education to people who need support. Ivan offers group classes, seminars, and lectures in person or through online platforms. His services can be conducted in Spanish, English, or Portuguese. So with that, I will open the floor up to Ivan.
Gregory, thank you. Prativa, hi everyone. I am very happy being here, learning from each of you, and even happier talking about breathing, talking about Buteyko breathing. I am doing this because I have my personal journey years ago, and I have a family story with asthma. Uh, I found Buteyko breathing for trying to help my family, a member of my family, and I see beautiful results in short period of time. I'm not a doctor. I just jump into this because I had I totally believe that um, holistic and alternative options are there for us, and people don't get a lot of information or education, but they are always there. So Buteyko basically changed my life. I have been in for years since I was a kid. I think I was always looking for alternative options, a lot of different things there. But when I found Buteyko, I found this scientific base of Buteyko breathing, because it's so many breathing uh, possibilities there. I know more than 30 different types of breathing. Everything works, everything is very interesting. But when I found the base of Buteyko and the discovery that Dr. Buteyko made about hyperventilation. Hyperventilation is a chronic problem that we all develop without noticing. And I was hyperventilating mostly of my life. I was always a mouth breather. I was always breathing through my mouth. For that reason, my teeth are not straight. I was always trying to drinking water when I was sleeping with a glass of water on my side, waking up in the morning with my dry mouth, and problems with bad breath, problems with digestion, problems with kind of COPD in the morning, feeling tired because I was sleeping with my mouth open. So when I found all that dysfunctional situations, and I found that Dr. Buteyko in the 50s, he discovered that if we are able to change that bad habit that we have, we are able to balance metabolism, nerve system, immunity. And we are all talking, Dr. Judy and Dr. Donna, everybody of you, is very important. Right now, the sources of good nutrition are not easy to get. So, but if we start to breathe properly and we start to change the basics, we are going to have a very more balanced system. And Buteyko educators, we don't talk too much about oxygen. We talk more about carbon dioxide. And I know that few of you are going to say, why he's talking about carbon dioxide? We can have a lot of oxygen, but if we don't have the right balance of carbon dioxide, the oxygen that we are intaking is not going to work properly. So we talk about breathing properly, breathing less, breathing through your nose, retraining your breathing, change from mouth breathing to nasal breathing, and 24 hours where during the day and even at night, we have different kind of exercise that help people to breathe properly even at night. With some preparation, we use, we tape, I tape my mouth at night. I don't do it recently, but we have different kind of techniques that really help to build even immunity. And now with this pandemic, I have been very busy lately, and I don't think that the right word to use is I am thankful with this, with the pandemic. Not at all, because a lot of people are having a lot of difficulties there and living a very difficult time with the money, with health, but the possibility to teach something, to bring something that people can learn by themselves. They can put their own time. They can take 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 30, 40 minutes during the day, doing breathing exercise. The mind calm down. We have 70,000 thoughts during the day, more or less. And 95% of those thoughts are repetitions. That creates stress, that creates imbalance. So why we don't focus those thinking, those thoughts, reduce by doing proper breathing. We focus a lot about exhalation, the power of exhalation, the power of calm down. If you are able to calm down your mind, your immune system start to build. Your immunity start to get better. You have more nitric oxide running into your blood. And nitric oxide is the magic molecule that Viagra is based in nitric oxide because increase blood flow. But nitric oxide is an antimicrobial, the benefits for producing high levels of nitric oxide are so important. And we produce nitric oxide by breathing through the nose, by humming. Humming is something that is becoming very popular right now. Finally, we discovered why the humming is important to increase levels of nitric oxide. The nitric oxide is produced behind the nose because the nose is not only, the nose reacts to your lungs and your lungs reacts to your nose. They are the same organ. The breathing system starts from your nose to your lungs. And if we use properly our nose, we are helping our lungs. Is the same organ. The production of nitric oxide protect this part of the body from bacteria, from viruses. When the levels of nitric oxide are high in the paranasals, it's more difficult that we have all kind of virus, and they can go to the lungs if we have high levels of nitric oxide. So the big key with Buteco and the big key with the trainings that we try to give to people is basically retrain your breathing, change your habits of breathing, including proper food, including proper mental activity, exercise. And we are able to help people to make a big change. We work with athletes, we work with people with, my main target are people with breathing problems, basically, people with asthma, COPD. Buteco is very beneficial for people with COPD, people with sleeping problems, people with stress, anxiety, and we work with athletes as well. We work with kids, and right now a lot of professionals are using Buteco as another tool to help their own practice. We have dentists, we have psychologists, we have different kind of coach using Buteco therapy, Buteco practice to help their clients with a better overall health. For that reason, the name that I get to Prativa was use your breathing, refocus your breathing for overall health, because right now this year particularly is the year of breathing, the year of being more focused in what is the basic and what is the more important. Breathing is connected even with your digestive system, with your circulatory system, with your nerve system. If we are able to be thinking, to be aware about how are we breathing during the day, everything is going to be more in balance. I don't know if I'm going to be part of the breaking groups?
Yes, we do have a breakout room for you. Yes. So, and you're perfectly on time. That was exactly 10 minutes. So I think the takeaway from that for me personally was this notion of the year of breathing, but I've never heard anyone actually say that the nose and the lungs are the same organ, which to me is profound, such a simple thing. So again, the breakout room, yes, you will have a breakout room. So I encourage anyone to jump in there. I know I have a lot of questions, so, but let's move on to speaker number 5, which is Julie Kim from Colorado. And let me give you a little bit of information. Julie's topic is mindset movement, the body's way. And Julie Kim is a certified integrative nutrition, health, and nutrition coach, NIA instructor, dance and RYT yoga educator, licensed massage therapist, and neuromuscular therapist, and specializes as a movement artist. She went to the University of Colorado in Colorado Springs, UCCS, where she studied psychology and communication and danced on her college dance team. She is the creator of Mindset Movement Experience, focused on keeping the creative community elevated, empowered, and calm. She has been in the wellness and movement health industry for 20 plus years, dancing and performing for 30 plus years, and a lifetime creative advocate for the movement of the mind. And as far as the promotion that Julie will be offering, it is a 3-month mindset movement health coaching at 20% off, plus 2 30-minute bodywork sessions included at no extra cost. And with that, I literally give you the floor, Julie.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Gregory. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Awesome. So the reason I'm kind of going back and forth and making sure the camera is in the right place is because today I'm going to guide you and show you a little practice that I found very beneficial for me, a movement practice, and I want you to be able to see me go down and up, and I'll invite you to practice with me a little bit. First of all, thank you so much for having me. It is always very exciting to see faces in my community and then to meet other people that know people. I love what Prativa said about networks. I believe very much in the power of networks and group synergy. So this is really cool. Earlier, Rachel talked. I work with her in Pueblo at Fit Instincts. And then Jocelyn spoke a little bit, and she is also a mindset and health coach, and I am as well. And we also have similar networks and then collaborate together. So it's just really cool how this works. And I have gotten very much out of what everyone else has shared. So thank you so much for this information. I can't wait to reach out. Today, I'm going to start by just taking you through an exercise called the 5 stages. And I want you to know that you don't need to, you don't need to do it necessarily, but you can watch it, experience it. It's very simple. One of my values as an artist and just as a human creator of my life is simplicity. So we're going to keep it simple today. And if you have any chronic pain, which is what I've found this exercise to be really very helpful for, and to get moving if you don't really feel like it, this is a good one for that. So I'm about to share my screen, and I just want to make sure I can do that right here. Okay, cool. Can you see that? Or is it my whole screen? How about that?
Cool. We can see it.
Perfect. So I'm going to take you through the 5 stages movements. It is an exercise and a practice that I teach called NIA. I'm just going to go over it, a little bit of who I am, explanation and guidance of the 5 movements. Oops. And then slow down. And then just some of the benefits and a recap. Okay, So real quick, I have to pause it after every slide. Anyway, cool. Well, you get to know me and see what a goofball I can be. So anyway, my name's Julie Kim. I'm a movement artist, the creator of Mindset Movement, which is my wellness practice where I coach creatives, movers, shakers, leaders, makers, which I believe everyone truly is a creator. We are creators of our life. And so I have a practice called Mindset Movement. And just these are some things about me. I'm fascinated with the body and the way that movement helps us. Oops. These are the 5 movements. And this is the important part of it to just notice is that there are 5 stages of movement. They help with so much. They're the natural movements that we as humans go through from the very first position we were in, and after we were conceived, embryonic, to creeping, to across the floor, horizontal, to crawling, squatting to standing, how we actually stand up, to walking. And the cool thing about it is the foundations of basic movements. So anyone can do it. And like I said, I'm going to take you through it. So the first one I'm going to show you is called embryonic. What we do is, to begin with, and to follow up with what Ivan just said, we breathe. We're going to start by taking some deep breaths and come down to the floor only if you'd like. Although if you just watch this and even do it from a chair or with just with your eyes, it's okay too. First stage is embryonic. All right. Looks like this. It's a movement. It's circular, fish-like, fluid. It's the movement that we were in surrounded in fluid. Embryonic, the first stage of movement. We do with eyes closed. There's no real agenda. It is free flowing. And even if you're sitting or just watching this, you can take the qualities of that and just move it through your system a little bit. Flowy. Always coming back in. All right, so that is the first stage of movement. Second stage, again, you can do it in your body's way. If you're still down on the ground, probably stay down. Second stage of our movement that we go to as humans is creeping. This is where the eyes are engaged. It's very lizard-like. There's a reach and pull. So again, if you're sitting in a chair, you can just extend the arms, tilt the pelvis slightly, and we use this to get across. The floor is primal. Okay, our eyes, our body starts to move where our eyes go.
Julie, can you bend the camera a little towards yourself? Like bend it down. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you for telling me that. So the second stage is very lizard-like. Now, you can do this reaching and pulling. You can do it in the seat. It's more of the quality of the movement that we want to adapt. I'm just coming up to change the slide to the next movement, but you can stay down. Next movement, you might guess what it is, crawling. And a lot of people aren't comfortable coming down to the hands and knees, and that's okay. You can put a blanket down, but crawling is helps us develop our brain. It's horizontal and vertical movement. It's bear-like. We experience on-off balance and opposite hand and knee movement. So crawling is that stage. If any of these don't work for you, that is okay, because there are things that we can work around. You can even do this in bed. It's pretty cool. Next movement, the fourth movement, I'm gonna stay on time, is squatting to stand. A lot of us will drop something on the floor, or we wanna go get something, and we go, lock our legs and go like this. I want to get away from that and encourage you. So coming from that crawling place, we would widen our base, because then we don't have to go up as much. We'll use the legs and we keep the seat and the power from back, underneath, and behind. We sink to rise. We shift weight while we do that. So this might, again, not be available for some people, but it's something we can work with and around. So I've got the wall, just encouraging that, sinking to rise up. Fifth movement. I get so excited about this, I really do. Fifth movement is walking. Take a quick walk around your space. And again, breathe. I liked what Ivan said about humming, when you can breathe and sound your breaths. As you're walking, notice that you're rolling from heel to the ball of the foot. There's some rolling going on. There's some shifting of weight. And then we take our eyes up, chin, eyes, shoulders open. It's that simple. So thank you for experiencing that. How often, daily, beginning of the day, pre-post workout, I love it to warm up for anything. And I'm slow to warm up, so it's really nice for that. What you see as a result here, just some of the benefits and all of those. Yeah, I can be a self-testimonial that they've all been really helpful for me, and they're simple. Let's see. Cool. These are the focuses that I focus on. Mindfulness. I teach yoga, dance, body language. I teach yoga teachers mindfulness. And I truly have made a career at this point of really of my passions. I'm pretty much still doing what I did as a little kid in certain ways, only a lot healthier and with some really good mindsets now. Thank you, Holistic Health Alliance. I wanted to show you one more thing before I jumped off. You're gonna see my whole screen for a minute, but this is Mindset Movement Experience. This is a practice I've been working on for several years for the creatives. And I love the teen health, mental health focus that I can't remember his name, but he talked about it earlier, because that is such a big part of health and wellness is mental health. So these Mindset Movement Experiences will be coming soon to you. And I just encourage anyone to reach out to me if you have questions around any of these things, the 5 movements. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Perfect timing, right on 10 minutes. And I changed my background only because Julie and I had a brief conversation a while back looking at venues in different places to provide what she actually just described and showed. But this was the Holistic Health Alliance potluck dinner that we did on the Upper Riverwalk Terrace at Water Tower Place. I'm the lead consultant on this adaptive reuse project. It's 250,000 square feet. It's a former meatpacking plant. This is on the 4th floor. So Julie, I would love to take what you just showed us and do it outdoors when the weather is right. So I just felt that that was appropriate. And also, hopefully this will be the home for the Holistic Health Alliance clinic that we're looking to do sometime in the future. So thank you, Julie. Let's move on to speaker number 6, Cindy Laraynovic from Massachusetts. Cindy's topic is Core 4, nutrition, exercise, hydration, and sleep. And the promotion that Cindy will be offering is a free 30-minute health coaching consult. Cindy is a wellness coach focused on assisting people change their health by teaching about the core 4, nutrition, exercise, hydration, and sleep. Cindy educates her clients on the power of whole food, concentrated powders by Juice Plus, and aeroponic gardening indoors and out with Tower Gardens. Cindy provides services to individuals and families to help them find simple solutions to nutritional challenges. She has helped many people with health issues like ADHD, anxiety, allergies, weight management, and many other health issues. And with that, I turn it over to you, Cindy.
Thank you so much. I appreciate this so much. And elementary, but it's just such a pleasure that we've known each other for a few years and stayed in touch. I'm so excited to be a part of this group, and I'm learning a lot from everyone here. So thank you. And that Youth Brigade with Agam is awesome. So I think I'm going to jump right into my presentation because you will hear a little bit more about me and my story once I get into that. So I like to talk about healthy living and inspiring this around the world, that we can make one simple change. Today, I am going to focus more on the nutrition. I am a health coach, and I like to focus on all those other things before, but today we're just going to focus on the nutrition. And I want to share a little bit about myself. So I'm a wife and a mom of 3 kids, and I was struggling to find answers. And my kids were a little bit picky back in the day, 6 years ago, when I learned about this nutritional component. And I started to get worried that there were going to be some health issues if we didn't make a change in what we were doing. I mean, my husband and I ate very healthy, but our kids were picky. So it's, what do you do when you're struggling with that? And a friend shared with me the power of whole food nutrition that can come in a concentrated powder. And my family got started on this, and we saw some significant health changes. And so this is why I became a health coach. And, you know, I like to say I'm a mom on a mission, sharing my message. So my kids are all athletes, and I knew they needed more fruits and veggies. And so when we added this nutrition, a big shift happened. And just for myself, again, I ate well, exercise. I thought I was doing all the right things, but I noticed right away I had more energy. And then there was that weight loss that happened. You know, after my 3rd child, I thought I was stuck with those extra 10 pounds. That came off, you know, easily. And then it stayed off. A couple of my kids, I won't say who, struggled with regularity, but we all know that that is a common issue for many people. And if you don't take care of it, it can cause real problems over time. My son was able to wean himself off of ADHD meds. So I love sharing this story and trying to help other people. We know that medication can help, but it does things to the body, not for the body. The nutrition does things for the body. My daughter struggled with anxiety, and this was something, as a mom, you just really worry about all these things. But that really helped with her not going on a medication. We worked through that, and I know right now anxiety is a really big thing that kids are dealing with, and not just children, but it's across the board. And then just overall immune support. We haven't had a sick visit in 6 years. So if you take care of your body, you can do really good things. So that's a little of my background. And let's just talk about, you know, what this looks like. So we are, unfortunately, as a nation and in the world, unhealthy. 1 in 4 people will die of heart disease. 1 in 2 women and 1 in 3 men will develop cancer. 1 in 3 will have diabetes by 2050, and 1 in 5 children is obese. So our children are more harmed by poor diet and exposed to drugs, alcohol, tobacco, and combined. And that says a lot. A lot of environmental toxins, and that's why we don't have a lot of control of what we can do for us.
Cindy, can you come a little bit closer to your mic, just a little bit, so it breaks out just a little bit?
Sure. Is this better?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you. So, you know, there's so many environmental toxins in our planet, and we don't have control over that. It's in our air, in our water, in our food, it's in our skincare products, our hair products. So you want to do the best you can and get as much control as you can with what you can do. And I'm going to show you some great suggestions for this. The other thing, though, is that our food is decreasing and in its quality. And so, you know, more than 50% of Americans tend to eat processed food. And a lot of that is because, you know, from a young age, these kids get used to those tastes, you know, going to those drive-thrus, getting that food that we know is not good for us, but we're on the go, we're fast, we've got a very busy lifestyle, and it's the easy thing. So you want to try to shop in the perimeter of the grocery store aisles, like Judy had mentioned, and try to stay away from artificial foods. So what we can do to be healthier, I was talking about the core 4, I actually think it's more like 6. There's exercise. Getting sleep 7 to 8 hours is hugely important for your overall health. Managing your stress. Drinking water, about half your body weight in ounces is what you should be getting daily. And then using safer products in your house and on your body, and real food. So that's why the good news isn't that fruits and vegetables are good for you. It's that they are so good for you that they could actually save your life. This was Time magazine. I love this picture. So we need a minimum of 7 to 13 servings of fruits and veggies every day. Athletes need even more, closer to 18 servings. And I say that people who are compromised in their health, they actually need a lot more too. And as we age, we need more. So, that's because our food is not picked when it's nutritionally dense. It's picked before it's ripened. And then it's transported thousands of miles. Even organic food can be covered with tarps laden in chemicals to preserve it until it gets to the grocery store. So it may be grown organically, but the shipping practices are not organic. And 90% of Americans don't eat enough servings that we need to get, and we don't get the rainbow. So this is where Juice Plus comes in, and this is why I partnered with the company. I have helped hundreds of families get this nutrition into their bodies. It's over 30 fruits, veggies, and berries. And then if you add the omegas, it gives you a beautiful array of the omega spectrums 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. And the Juice Plus is picked when it's perfectly ripened, and it is juiced and dehydrated and put into a powder. It's not really juice, but it's put into a slurry. And then the water is taken out and it's dehydrated at a low temperature. So it saves all the nutritional value. And so then it is put into a capsule or a chewable for, younger kids who can't maybe swallow a capsule, and put into these easy way of getting this nutrition into your body every day. I love this picture because I like to ask people to take a look at this and think about how many of these things did you eat yesterday? I find it difficult to get a lot of these things in, because I don't have them in my house, or I can't even find them at the grocery store. If I have bought them, sometimes they go bad in my refrigerator and that I've missed the opportunity to eat them. So this is just an easy way to get, 30 fruits and vegetables into your diet. And then you want to add more. You want to eat well, but this is just a way to help you get more of that. And again, here's the omegas that I was talking about. I love this because it helps with heart, brain, joint health, skin, eyes, even pancreatic health. It's 100% plant-based, so they bypass the fish, and you get this omega that doesn't have that fishy aftertaste because it comes from plants. It's actually citrus in flavor, and we don't have this in a chewable, but when I've had little kids who will just bite the capsule and suck out the oil, and it tastes great. I mean, it's oil, so it's a little funky, but it is citrus flavored, so it's actually really delicious. And again, you get omega 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. And this is the nutrition. So Juice Plus has a complete protein powder that you can add to make a smoothie. You can simply mix it with water or coconut milk or something like that. And it's another 14 plants. It's filling. I just had one for my breakfast or lunch, and it's delicious. It comes in chocolate or vanilla. My kids use this a lot for their sports recovery, pre or post workout. And I will say it helped them perform very well. My daughter is headed to play lacrosse at her college next year. So I'm excited that she will have this nutrition with her. And my boys have it at school with them. So when kids are getting sick on their floor or in their dormitory, they weren't coming down with those things. And they had this delicious nutrition. So again, it's bridging the gap to get more of what you need. A lot of times we tend to eat those fast foods, and sure, they taste good, but they're not serving us well. So Juice Plus bridges the gap to getting more of the good stuff in, and then you want to try to eat healthy. And what I found so interesting with my own children is this metabolic programming that happens when you add good foods into your body, the fruits and veggies, you start to crave more. If you add sugar, fats, and carbohydrates, you're going to crave that. So it weaned them off of those fatty, fast foods. And not that I even served them, but, kids will get them, and it just would happen naturally. So they could, they'd go to friends' homes and that might be what they were eating, even if that wasn't what I served. So again, it helped them have better habits. So Juice Plus is unique. It is not, it's food and it's not a vitamin, even though it looks like one. It has a food label. It's NSF certified. So it's a third-party watchdog to make sure that what is on the label is actually in it. There's no herbicides, pesticides, molds, mildews. It's cleaner than organic. It's super healthy. As a mom, I feel very safe knowing I'm giving my kids really clean food, and for myself. And I hang my hat on the research. We're at over 40 clinical studies now, and these are peer-reviewed studies. You can look them up on the website, and I think it just speaks for itself in that sense. And here's what they're showing with the research from the children's health study. So when I started, I could put one of my kids on the health study for 4 years for free. And so what that means is they're going to get the fruits and veggies for free, either capsule or chewable. And what they were finding is they're missing fewer days of school, which my kids weren't getting sick, taking fewer over-the-counter prescription medications. That happened with us. Drinking more water, yes. Less doctor visits, and consuming less fast foods and soft drinks, and they were eating more fruits and veggies. So all of these things happened in my family. And when I say my kids were pretty picky at the time, they were really picky. Like, it was kind of unbelievable, but we're on such a better path now. And this is the other thing I get so excited about, that you can grow your own food indoors or out with a Tower Garden by Juice Plus. We have two types. We have the Tower Garden Home. It's a little bit smaller, sleeker, and you can grow that indoors primarily, or the Tower Garden Flex, which can be grown indoors or out. And I have mine in my basement art studio. I'm going to show it to you in a minute, but it's 98% less water, less space. It gives you 30% more yield. So you save money in the long run when you have this growing. And it grows 3 times faster. I grew up on a farm in Montana, and I will tell you, as a farm girl, the chores were a lot of work. This is the easiest thing I have done growing produce, and it's safe and delicious and nutritious. So Juice Plus is very affordable. The Tower Garden's affordable. For less than, $5 a day, you can get yourself the trio of fruits, veggies, and berries. You can add the omegas for $1. You can get a child for free. So it's like buy one, get one. And the shakes are $2.33 a day. I don't know where you can get a meal, which is the
Cindy, we've got 30 seconds. And then if you want to, you can also carry anything else onto your breakout room too.
Okay, thank you. This is just my information, and I am going to stop sharing here. And I do just want to point out that there is the Tower Garden growing in my art studio in the basement. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Cindy. So let's move on to our speaker number 7, who does not need an introduction, Rachel Cutsco from Colorado. Her topic is water and recovery, how to replenish and hydrate naturally. How and why donuts are free, lipstick on a pig, and other fine things.
That was a joke from Gregory and I yesterday as we were. Well, thank you, Gregory. And thank you guys all for being here. So I am going to just kind of move for a second. I'm not sure how I have to move this way. Okay, so my background, for those of you who are not here in Colorado on our Arkansas River Valley, that is the mighty Arkansas River that's flowing behind me. I get to be a river guide in the summer. It's like the coolest job you could ever do in your entire life. And I want you to think about how you feel when you get to walk by rivers and creeks, walking along the ocean as you hear the break of the waves. Just how does it feel when you're by water? Does anybody feel better if they're by water?
Always. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. And it's almost like you can just, that water is life. We know that our bodies are made mostly of water. We understand that we have to drink water in order to be alive, that we will physically die without it. And yet we can sit by water, and it's almost like it replenishes us, our entire souls, our entire lives, even without even taking one sip. And that's one of the beauties of river guiding, is that I get to take people down the river and our waterways, and they feel that without even realizing it, because I'm normally screaming at them in the back of the raft, cussing under my breath, thinking, oh my God, here we go. This is going to get good. Dumping people in water. Most of the time it goes smooth. Stephanie's on the call. She can tell you that. I take her a lot. It goes real smooth, but other times things happen. But at the end, it doesn't matter what we've been through. When we ride that wave on the water, we feel so good. Families who have been arguing are now like laughing and joking. People who've never known each other, who speak different languages, they all come together and they paddle together, and they get through these really hard challenges. Of course, they sign up for it knowingly, and some people are coerced a little bit more. But at the end, everybody is happy. Everybody is smiling. Everybody feels good. We've done teamwork, better together. We have to do it together. I can't do it alone as a river guide myself. And it's one of the most incredible feelings when you get to have somebody come up and say, I was really scared. I was apprehensive, but look at what my family did. Look at what we did together. I feel so alive. I feel so amazing. I can't even describe what I'm feeling. And it's because it's the water. It's our waterway. It's our life source. And it's so important not only to participate in it, on it, adventure on it, venture near it, but we also have to drink it. And clean water, I have a hard time with this background thing, but clean water is something we take so much for granted living in the United States of America. Okay? We have chlorine in all of our tap water that disinfects our water from bacteria and viruses. And the Arkansas River Valley, the Arkansas River, although it's been mined all the way up and down, is actually a really clean waterway as well. So we can recreate in water a lot more than a lot of other people can. I lived in West Virginia for years, and you can't recreate in the water like you used to be able to because of the pollutants. And so we're being slowly deprived of our most life-sustaining force in the world. And we only have the same water, right? People think, oh, it comes down out of the sky, it's new water. But it's not new water. So the hormones and the pharmaceuticals and the bacteria and the virus, they just turn into little water vapor, and they circulate around in the atmosphere, and then they come back down as rain, and then we ingest it, and then we go to the bathroom, and then it just keeps going in a circle. It's renewable, but not in the same form that it was 200 years ago, 1,000 years ago, however many years ago, depending on what book you read. It's a depleted source of energy, okay? And when we're in our breakout rooms, you can ask me a ton of questions. I've done the 10 years of research for you on how we can get really good water in our bodies. A lot of people are familiar with bottled water. You can get spring water delivered to your house. Reverse osmosis is generally the form that people are really familiar with, because that's like when you take the big jugs over to the grocery stores and you fill them up. And what everybody has talked about have been like our life-sustaining nutrients and micronutrients and all that stuff. And so when we go through something like reverse osmosis, where the water everything has been taken out of the water, all the chlorine, all of the deadly viruses and bacteria, all the pharmaceuticals, all the hormones that are in the water, but it also takes out calcium, sodium, potassium, magnesium, phosphate, bicarbonate. All of that is what our body needs and what naturally occurs in our body. And if we don't get that in our food source and in our water source, our electrolytes are off balance. And a whole slew of things can happen because of that. So we have to have those electrolytes. I know of a filtration system that eliminates over 200 particles that are all contaminants using microfiltration, adduction and adsorption and absorption using like surface tension with ionic barriers. Ion exchange removes the heavy metals. But what's so amazing about these filters is that they leave the mineral content of the water. Our water still gets to be alive when we drink it. So all of those natural electrolytes that are in our water, they're still there. So I can talk about that in the breakout room. But if you want an electrolyte drink, we talk about this, everything, you know, there were some really colorful liquids that became on the scene from the Florida Gators. The coach of the Florida Gators created it. And I'm here to tell you that the best and more natural electrolyte drink that you can have is coconut water. Super easy. It was given to us. You pick it. You can get it organic. You can get tons of it for pretty cheap in the grocery store. Go get yourself some coconut water. I'm also going to share a few electrolyte drink sources on our Facebook page that actually came from Dr. Donna Hinders. And so yeah, coconut water, get filtered water. And then if you want, I'll also take you river rafting in the summer on the Arkansas. Come on out if you're in Massachusetts, and I can dip you in the water that way too. So just water's important. Stay near water. Go sit, put your feet in the water. Breathe it in, feel it. It's necessary. And I hope you do that one simple thing to change your nutrition. So thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. Let's move on to our speaker number 8, Dr. David Helfand from Massachusetts. His topic is breaking the negative cycles in your relationship. And in his own words, I am a relaxation and relationship psychologist. My specialty is in working with couples and also teaching people skills to help them calm or improve their nervous system. David Helfand, or Dr. H, provides services to families, couples, and individuals who want to break their negative cycles and create positive changes. Through his background in psychology, neuroscience, meditation, and yoga, he teaches people lifelong skills so they can have a fulfilling and peaceful life. I turn it over to you, Dr. H.
Thank you so much, Gregory. And thank you to the Wholistic Health Alliance for the invitation. It's always nice to hear from Pratibha, especially when I've been the poor one reaching out these days. So thank you for that. And so, yeah, I work with I do a lot of different things. I have a lot of different hats in my practice, but I'm going to specifically talk about relationships and my work with couples right now. And the basic premise that I use working with couples is to break them out of their negative cycles. A lot of us are stuck in negative cycles, either patterns that we're in or ways that we argue with loved ones. And I like focusing with couples because I feel personally, as someone who's married and has 2 kids, it's a very rewarding practice to help couples reconnect with each other. But these skills I've also taught in corporate settings. I've taught them to families and just even individuals that are trying to learn. They feel like they're being misunderstood frequently. So what I like to do is pretty much use this time just to run through some of the basic skills that I teach. And I'm going to start with a quick story. So I worked a little while ago with a newlywed couple. And in our first session, they talked about an argument they had where they were yelling at each other. I wish we never got married. I wish you'd get the heck out of my house. And there were a couple other 4-letter words they were throwing around at each other. And eventually, when we were able to kind of calm the conversation down, and I started to say, well, what was going on right before all of this? They both started laughing. And I said, well, okay, there's clearly a story here. What's going on? They said, we were cutting a mango. I said, you were cutting a mango. How did cutting a mango lead to almost a divorce? Well, turns out that the woman, and this was a heterosexual couple, the woman in the relationship had a very controlling parent figure. And the guy at this particular moment was micromanaging the way she was cutting up fruit for their snack. So you could imagine that that set off a whole trigger and a cascade of events that took place. But it's amazing. I see this all the time. The mango almost brought them to the brink of divorce. And it sort of sounds silly when you think about it, which I think is why they were laughing at themselves. But I think I can kind of see in the screen some people chuckling that these kinds of situations come up quite a lot. So I'm going to give you a couple tools that I use with my clients, and hopefully you can implement them right away as you're starting to work with people. Or work with people, like you're the therapist, right? Work with your own relationship, work on yourselves. And speaking of which, one thing I tell the couples I work with is please start by working on your side of the communication. If you keep telling your partner, oh, you broke a rule, oh, you broke a rule, that's going to get very old very quickly. And it also is a terrible communication, blaming and judging the other person's style. Much better to own your mistakes and also self-correct. So the most important skill that I teach couples is to state what you want and not what you don't want. And I could easily fill 10 to 50 minutes on just that topic. But when you state what you want, I want you to think of this first. When I say, I'd really like you to look me in the eyes when we're speaking, it would make me feel close to you. It's a very passionate, intimate expression, as opposed to saying, don't roll your eyes when I talk to you, when I'm talking to you. That's a very negative, disconnecting sort of phrase. Now, I am trained in neuroscience, so I like to bring a lot of this back to the brain. Your brain cannot picture not doing something. It cannot picture a negative concept. So what I mean by that is if I say, don't roll your eyes at me, you picture rolling your eyes. And then somehow you have to think, okay, not that. Don't think of the white polar bear. Don't drop the ball. If you're talking to an athlete, they picture dropping the ball. So the image you invoke in someone's mind is painted by the words that you use. So what I tell couples is one of the ways to build a connection with each other is imagine you have an artist behind you painting a picture of all the words that come out of your mouth. So that at the end of your conversation, you're going to look at that album artwork and see if that's actually what you want in your life. And that can help sort of put a frame of reference to the way that you communicate. So state what you want, not what you don't want. The other amazing thing that happens is when you tell someone what you want, you're much more likely to get it. Despite common belief, most people can't read your mind, even if you've been married for 5, 10, 15, 30 years. So saying what you're looking for is the best sure way to actually get that eventually. Now, in the case of the couple that were cutting up the mango, I mentioned that, she had a controlling parent. So when he was micromanaging the fruit fiasco, that was very triggering for her. One of the things I tell my couples is that 90% of the emotion at any moment is historical. Only 10% is actually contemporary. It's basically a fancy way of saying triggered. Someone got triggered. So when you feel yourself getting really upset, chances are it's connected to a historical event, either within the relationship or past relationships, childhood, or cultural or religious upbringing. So this can be, traumatic events in your life that get triggered. It could also just be, maybe you've just generally not felt heard in your family. Not that there was a big trauma around that, but your voice is not heard. So if your spouse then is cutting you off, it's going to bring up all those feelings of never being heard for the last 20 plus years or so. So it's important to be aware of that because when you can communicate the trigger, it helps people be a lot less defensive. So again, these are skills that I go over in about an hour with my couples, and I'm doing a very quick overview. So feel free to ask me more about these in the breakout room. Something else that I want to mention is the love languages. So a lot of people are familiar with the 5 love languages. If you're not, you can Google it real quick. There's lots of quizzes. There's a great book out there by Gary Johnson, I think. And I like to focus on the 5 languages as well as sensory love languages. So sensory love languages is when you're with your partner, what do you like to see, hear, taste, feel, and I'm missing one, whatever the fifth one is. There's also the sixth sense kind of love languages, which is the interoception, right? What do you want to feel emotionally then with your partner as well, if you're thinking beyond just the five senses? So that typically brings me into a whole category of sexuality with couples. Definitely don't have time to talk about that in these short the short discussion here, but I'm happy to talk more about my work as a sex therapist in the breakout if people are interested. And then the last skill that I want to mention here is when you get really emotional, really upset, your brain literally cannot access the cognitive rational part of itself, which means that when I tell clients, when you get to that emotional overload, which is either a 9 or 10 on a 10-point scale or a 0, because some people when they're emotionally overloaded just shut down and numb. So 0 or 9 to 10. When you're at that point, you just need to call timeout and take a break. Now, what a lot of couples do is they call timeout and they table it and then they never really get back to it. So there's a specific way I recommend calling timeout. First, you just state, I need a break. And then you suggest a time for follow-up with less than 24 hours. So I need 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes after I walk the dog, tomorrow when we have breakfast, whatever it is. When you come back together, you talk about the mistakes that you made in that communication. So that's really important. Own your mistakes. If you come back together and you start judging the other person and blaming them for the communication, then you're most likely going to perpetuate that negative cycle. When you own your mistake and say something like, you know, I realized that you kept asking me not to roll your eyes and to look at you in the eyes, and I kept watching the television while you were talking to me. So I can see now why that made you so upset. And I'm going to work really hard to, you know, be a better listener. That's much more powerful than, well, you should have stood in front of me and told me to turn the TV off. Really? You want them to treat you like a child? Probably not. I'm sure they would if you really want them to, but it's not generally good for romantic adult relationships. So that's just a quick overview of some of the skills that I teach. I don't know that Gregory mentioned, but the discount that I'm offering to clients interested in getting deeper into this work is I have an online couples course. It's 22 video lessons with accompanying PDFs and materials and self-evaluations and a couple other rubrics you can use to check the temperature of your relationship. And I'm offering 20% off that course for people that are interested. You can find it on my website, which I think is on the Facebook event, and I'll throw it up in the chat real quick so people have it. And besides that, I'd be happy to talk in the breakout room if anyone has specific questions or if you're interested in any of my other specialties. I do also work a lot with neurofeedback, which is something that's highly beneficial for balancing people's nervous systems. So I'd be happy to talk about that as well. And then finally, I can work with anyone in the United States for the most part. There are some restrictions on licensing laws in certain states, but I certainly entertain the ability to work with anyone in the US, and then we just have to check on state regulations before we commit to something. And I think I managed to keep it to about 10 minutes. So
yeah, you did. You kept it exactly to 10 minutes. So, and thank you for the discount because it was a blank area in the profile. So thank you for filling that in. And for more details, of course, the breakout room. So our next speaker, Pratibha Shah, who of course from Massachusetts, the founder of the Wholistic Health Alliance. And her topic is 3 mantras to real health and true wellness. And the promotion that she will be offering is a 20% discount on initial intake, which is a savings of $45. So I'll leave the floor then to Pratibha. Thank you. We need to unmute you.
Thank you so much, Gregory. Thank you. I think we had somebody drop off from Colorado from our 10 speaker list. So we had to add somebody. So I was able to find somebody from Massachusetts, Cameron Adibi. He's here. So Cameron, what we can do is you and I can take 5 minutes each because we seem to be running a little late in our program. But Cameron, you can introduce yourself, and so will I, and your
Great.
discount.
Would you like to go first though? Would you like to present first?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Oh, all right. I'll keep this brief. I'm Cameron. Nice to meet everyone. This has been really rewarding. I'm really grateful to be part of this community. I'm an educator, and as well as I have a lot of different hats I wear. I'm also a U.S. Coast Guard captain. I take people out on boats, and I am a therapeutic horseback riding instructor. And I used to be a whitewater raft guide. I took people down Browns River. Yay! Browns Canyon. I've been down the Grand Canyon, I don't know, 4 times now. So it's great to connect with you, all the Colorado people here. I used to live out in Colorado. And just to get everybody, like, wake everybody up, because I know I'm sleepy a little bit. I also I want to show you something that I've created, and it relates to the Tower Garden. It's a hydroponic system. And this is part of what I wanted to talk about today. So you can get a kind of an overview there. It's a lot more complicated than the Tower Garden, but the Tower Garden is probably a little bit more affordable. But this is really about learning about how to grow indoors. And so I'll just give you a quick tour here. There's 3 tanks, there's 1 pump, and I have some cucumber. I just planted those probably just like 3 weeks ago. And I just recently lumber, and even you can see some of the roots there, and you got some LED lights, very space age, right? And even a couple, let's see if you can see in the camera, a couple little fish, some aquarium fish. That good story there. I did not actually put them in there. They actually were remnants from the gravel from the previous owner. So this is how to get people excited about kind of this stuff, and this is what I want to share with you today. So this is really for parents who are with kids currently at home doing the online learning. It's also for parents in Massachusetts who want a little bit more help getting their kids outside, and parents in Colorado who might want to have some more blended learning styles, as well as anyone that needs help with developing online curriculum for their own website and social media that has a nature-based focus. So really, this is my whole motive right now is that so many kids are living in isolation right now, and not just kids, everyone right now. This is the story of the pandemic, and we've lost this connection to nature. Many of us, even when I was a teacher, I have a teaching license, and even when I was teaching in public schools, kids were getting weren't even allowed recess. That was getting more and more taken away from them. So this disconnection from nature is leading to a lot of problems. Everybody mentioned stress and anxiety, and one of the big benefits is how to help kids self-regulate and get their own medicine, as everybody talked about. This resiliency, breathing, movement. Everyone mentioned that today. So experiential learning, what is it? It's basically the use of an activity or challenge that engages the learner. So these lectures, I'm taking a lot away from it, but not much is retained when you lecture to anyone. Only through kind of movement and engagement is there usually something that's much more deeper learning. Secondly, it increases intention. Third, it reduces stress, and it develops self-discipline. And fourth, it promotes connection, not only to others, but to the larger world itself. What I'm offering are both outdoor field trips, so people can, kids that are not getting any time outside or getting so stuck on the screen. That's for people. I live in Marblehead, Massachusetts. So anybody that needs kind of assistance there, I'm offering I'm going to share a quick PowerPoint. Let's see if I can get it.
Cam, we may not have time for a PowerPoint, if you would mind, but
Okay.
we'll do that in the breakout room, whatever you can.
I'm burnt out too. So so really the three things I'm offering are If you want some outdoor field trips, like visiting a horse barn, doing with your kids, geocaching field trip, visiting an animal shelter, any kind of thing that's kind of engaging to the learner, I'm offering an $80 4-week course. If you would like some blended online courses, including how to build hydroponic systems with your kids, also like low-tech navigation, eco design, as well as storytelling, I'm offering 4-week and 8-week course. The 4-week course is $80. The 8-week course is $160. That's all 20% off. And if you want help developing online courses and curriculum for your own business and mission, let me know. I can also offer a discount, and it depends on what you're looking for. I'll leave my website, and I'm sorry I can't stay much longer than the next 10 minutes, but thank you so much.
Great, thank you so much. And Pratibha?
Thank you. You may want to share your website in the chat if you like, Cam. So I'm going to keep it super short because really, I mean, I think we were planning 5 to 8 minutes, but it's all right. You know, we don't come together as often. So it's all right to take some time to, you know, try and share what we are doing. How does it work? Where are we offering it out of? So very briefly, I think you all know my face a little bit because of WHA, but what I do in my professional life is I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner. I have an MD in Ayurveda. I have an MPH, Masters in Public Health and International Health. I've been doing what I'm doing for 30 plus years, which is really helping people transform their lives with a system that is really the compendium of life itself. So very briefly, you know, we all know that we spend life between birth and death. So birth, how we are born, where we are born, to whom we are born, we don't get to choose. How we die, we don't get to choose. But we can definitely choose how we choose to live. I think you'll all agree. That's where our choices are. And Ayurveda, by its very definition, Ayu means life, Veda means compendium or science of. So Ayurveda, just by literary translation, means the science of life. So all of the clues that are needed to live life to the fullest potential, high quality, fully expressed life is possible by imbibing the guidelines from a system like Ayurveda, which help us learn. First of all, so the 3 mantras that I was going to say are, first of all, we have to take ownership back of our common sense. That's the first mantra. Somehow in the 21st century, the biggest tragedy is we have taken leave of our common sense and we have empowered everybody else except ourselves about our own self, if that makes sense. We have to take that power back. We have to put ourselves in the driver's seat. You will be able to appreciate it if you think about it, that for everything, we pass on the buck to somebody else. Somebody else should tell us what is wrong with us. Yes, to an extent, there is a dependency, there is a utility of having the labs and the medical doctors, but nobody can understand you better than yourself. And what's happening within you and what are you doing to make that happen. So take ownership back of your common sense. It may seem very unintuitive, but it's very profound. Second, learn what is your model, who you are. So for example, when we buy gadgets or we buy appliances, the first thing we do is we try to understand what is the model, what can this model do, what can this model not do, and what are some of its maintenance requirements. I don't think we ever do that for ourselves. Whereas that is really the truth of the matter, that all of us are unique models. And Ayurveda provides us with the insights to do that assessment. There are protocols to assess what we call body types. So that is the second thing. Third thing is to live in alignment with that model. That is the smartest way of living. That's the most efficient way of living, is really knowing your model and living in alignment with that model. Most of our life we spend without knowing what is my model and what can we, what do we need to do to smoothly operate this model. So these are the three mantras. I'm sorry, I have to rush it, but I have shared my website. I have shared my email ID in the chat. Please feel free to copy paste, and over to you, Gregory. I tried to keep it as short as possible.
No, thank you so much. I mean, we've done amazingly well with so much information. So I'm going to open up the breakout rooms. And Ivan did need to leave early, who it was the specialist with the Buteyko breathing, but we have all of his contact information, and he'd love to continue on the chat later. And I did open up a room for the Youth Brigade just in case, but we don't have to worry about that. But feel free, I'm going to open them up now, and you can move in and out as you like. They're scheduled for 10 minutes. I'll pop in and out, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to open all the rooms right now.
Are we automatically assigned?
Yeah.
No, you get to go by yourself.
Okay.
Even the practitioners?
Are we
Yes.
automatically in?
Yeah, I believe you have to join your own room.
I thought
Okay,
that the
thank you.
practitioners, if they had time, they might want to move around too. So
I don't know how to enter the room. How do you do that?
It's not, yeah, I can't get in there
down at the
either.
bottom of your screen, if you look at it, it should be either there or under more, and it'll say breakout rooms.
But then if you click on it, it's not letting me in.
Right. I can't get in mine either.
Okay, let me go ahead and assign. I'll just do that really quick. Judy.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Judy. Okay, you're ready. And
Thank you.
Cindy. There you go. And Donna. There you go. And Cameron. There we go. Okay. And let me do Julie. There you go. Okay. And let's see.
So, Greg, this is Stephanie Chambers. How do we get into the rooms?
You should be able to, at the bottom of your screen, depending on the computer that you have, it should say breakout rooms. Do you see that?
Yeah, I had that pop-up box up, but I don't know how to get into the room.
Okay, you just click on the room that you want to go into. Which one do you want to go? And I can assign you, Stephanie.
David Health.
Okay, David. Okay, let me put you in there right now. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Kelly, how about you?
Can I go into Cindy Novich?
Sure, I'll do that right now for you. Okay, and there you go. And Cameron? There we go. Okay.
I guess, can you put me in the breaker, the one I have listed?
Yeah, you should be in there. It says that you're in there now. That's interesting. Let me go. Oh, there we go. That's interesting. Let me see here. I'm not sure why it's doing what you're, let me just see here, Cameron. Your room is there. I'm going to join into your room and then I'm going to come back.
All right. Thank you.
I had to do a back door. I don't know. It was just how it came online. So
No worry.
No worry at all. But I will be reaching out to you because of some of the wellness platforms that we do with our partner schools here. And that whole notion of isolation and, you know, the questions that come after, you know, all of a sudden we've decided we're going to do a lockdown. Then we realize, oh, wait, that was handled by that was handled by.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm going to pop out just really quick just to make sure that everything is moving smoothly. I don't know what that was about, but it's always good to know that technology
You're doing great.
Work.
You're totally doing great.
I'll be right back. Yep, that's
All right.
Can I go into Cameron's room? Okay. Here.
Maybe it's full. Maybe they have a
No, there's only one. Join. Here we go.
I somehow got myself knocked off there. And I'm wondering if there is the, who was it? Cindy Novak, is she still here?
Hi, Stephanie. Did you want to move around anymore? You need to unmute.
Thank you. I am taking a look to try to decide. So
Okay, just give me a shout. I feel like a dispatcher. How about you,
Okay.
Judy?
Hi,
Did you
I was
unmute? Yeah.
yes, I was trying to figure out how to move around. Because
you just have to basically, if you X out of the box, it'll give you an option to leave the room or to leave the meeting.
right. So I left the room. So I
Okay.
did that.
Would you like to go into another one?
I figured, yeah. So people have to come back to you to get into another room. Is that it?
Or you can just click the breakout rooms below and you should be able to. Does it come up on your screen?
It comes up, but it doesn't bring me in. So that's
okay. So where would you like to go? And I'll do that for you.
I will go in with Jocelyn Martinez, I guess. Why not?
Okay, there you go. I'm sending, there's a lot of people in there. Good luck.
Yeah.
Hi, Greg. Stephanie again. I would like to go into Cindy's room.
Okay, Cindy, sure. I'll do that right now. There's quite a few people in there. So let me get you, Stephanie. There we go. And I need to talk to you and your fabulous partner with the bikes, because we have some good news about a new development and they're looking to set up a bike repair shop and such.
Oh,
so,
excellent. Yes,
yeah.
we'll do that.
I'm going to send you over to Cindy, right?
Yeah, Cindy Laraynovic.
There you go.
Thank you. I haven't gone anywhere yet.
Okay, I'm going to try it again. It says you're in the room. Is it moving over? If you X out, let me just see here. I'm going to move you into a different one. I'm going to put you into Youth Brigade, and then I'm going to have you just so I can get you out. Let me just, I don't know why it's doing that. Let's see here. Did that move you?
I still see you.
That's funny. I don't know why. That's interesting. It shows
Maybe
you in
there's
the.
I wonder if there's a
Show-
maximum, since there's so many different break rooms. I wonder if there's a maximum for number of people.
No, you can do up to the number of rooms, the number of people. So the max I have is in 4 in one room, and then
Oh.
I have 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. Let me try it again.
Okay.
Okay, Cindy.
Oh, I might need to hit leave here in order to see if I can go in the next room. I
Yes,
just
you do need to hit
because
leave.
I've
Yeah.
used Adobe more than I've used Zoom. So
No, that's fine.
this
Yeah,
is-
try
all right.
that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mhm. Ooh. Mhm. Ooh. Mhm. Mhm. Ooh.
Oh, sorry. Did everybody have fun?
I was a dispatcher. That was a lot of fun.
I hope you got a moment to take
We
a
did. The
break.
only problem is, depending upon the nature of the device that people are on, the way in which you navigate and move is a little bit different. But we only had 1 or 2 people that had trouble, but otherwise people got to move around to more than one room, which was great.
Lovely. So I think I'll let you take over, Gregory. I think there are some chat rooms still active.
Yeah, I
probably.
closed all the rooms, and let's see,
You must
some
be
people are
joining
trying
any
to
minute
get back
now.
in.
Yeah.
Okay. And let me look at the breakout rooms.
So while Gregory is doing that, actually let everybody come. I had to make a couple announcements quickly.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, let everybody come back though. Wow, we really
They'll
went.
all come filing back.
Okay, next time we'll have a longer duration. Okay, is it all like, has everybody joined? Or?
There's a few more. Let's see. Their times are coming up when they went into the room.
I
so
see.
we have 5, 7. They're coming back on now.
Okay, everybody had somebody, I hope. People were able to move around and say hello, ask questions, I hope.
And this
I
was a
think
great test run for the big event
for
coming
the
up
big
in
event,
March.
yes.
Yeah.
You will have
Great.
proper breakout rooms for that, because
Yes.
I think that is where people are able to have like the one-on-one.
And we'll be able to assign those in advance, because people will be able to choose them, and then it is more seamless. It's a little bit glitchy when people are free to go, which freedom oftentimes it can be problematic. So
yeah, Gregory is our master tech planner, so we're really looking forward to a little more organized,
but I'll
more
leave
time
it to
efficient.
you. It looks like they're all coming back over.
Mhm. So meanwhile, everybody, you can unmute and share quick impressions, maybe till everybody joins, and then I'll just make some announcements and we can conclude. Cindy, how did it go for you?
Well,
Cindy?
I'm just so impressed with this group. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. And I love hearing from everyone, just so many different modalities and what people are doing. I had takeaways, I wrote notes. And then, it's just a pleasure to have this group to come together, to be able to be a one force, and keep growing. So I'm very excited about it. And and it was fun in the breakout group. So thank you.
Great.
Thank you. I think that's the goal, that when we come together, we feel a different power, which we can never do individually. So there is a lot of merit in coming together as like-minded people who want to shift this entire world, this planet, this humanity, more towards wellness than illness. So I hope this will continue, and I'm going to request, okay, David, okay, but I'm going to request everybody, before you start signing off, to bring in more practitioners into the fold. So far, we have never done a concerted membership drive or anything. I appeal to all of you to reach out to fellow practitioners and bring them into the group. because as you can see that there is a lot of merit in getting together as a tribe, as people who believe strongly, passionately in shifting the health of the planet and humanity. So everybody back here, can I quickly make the announcements?
Yes, please. Yep.
Okay. So first of all, thank you all, the practitioners as well as the attendees, for coming today and sitting through the entire session. This session has been recorded. It was live, so people who could not make it due to schedule conflicts will be able to see it. It will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, etc., etc. So this is going to live in space for a while. So don't worry if you didn't see like a huge turnout today. That's not to worry at all. This will continue to reach people. I want to remind people again that this is something this program has been designed to engage the community in what we are calling the wellness travel, because, you know, we are not able to travel in real time right now. You all know that. So we are offering virtual travels. And the goal is to provide the practitioners with spotlighting opportunity through this. Like, you can be a wellness destination. Some of you already are. Some of you can continue to be a wellness destination. Because the pandemic has hit the holistic industry as well. So we want to represent you to the community so that they can remember, oh yes, there is this person and that person, and this is what they're offering. Refresh their memory. And for the public, it's very useful to know what can they do while they are waiting for solutions from scientific medical care, right? There's so much we can do while we wait for the magical cures, you know, the vaccines and so on and so on. So it's a benefit for both the community and the general community as well as the holistic community, as you might be able to appreciate how useful it is to have these kind of reiterating events. I came to know of a lot of new methods, ways of wellness. I really like the movement artist concept, you know, I mean, it's really so beautiful. I mean, people are sitting so much these days that through simple, you know, movements like this, they can actually open up their body, you know, without even having a gym membership or something. So I hope you all enjoyed and you can see the larger picture through this. So once again, I want to appeal to all of you, bring in more holistic practitioners. If you have children, sign them up for the Youth Brigade. These are concepts that are probably a little ahead of their time. You know, nobody is doing this with the youth, right? In a concerted manner. So please help us grow. 2021, we are earmarking to grow our team as well as our organization, our presence, our mission. So please help us with that, and stay tuned for the March event. Continue to look into the wellness destination master document that we have created. Help others to list there as a wellness destination, and enjoy your time with the new eyeballs and the new footfalls in your business. Thank you so much. Any final thoughts, you're welcome to share. Otherwise, I will let Gregory conclude. Our March event is on 20th March, just to reiterate that. But any final thoughts are welcome. Otherwise, I will let Gregory conclude. And thank you. First of all, I have to thank Gregory and Rachel from the bottom of my heart for really, you know, doing this as a team. It's been lovely working with both of you. It's been so much fun. And Gregory, as you can see, is our tech master. So thanks a lot to you both as well.
Well, thank you to everyone. And I know we're a bit over time, but it's been fabulous. And it's been a great experiment for the forthcoming March 20th. We'll also be sending out a survey, which will be really important to get your feedback, because, you know, certain things work as planned, other things don't. And then you learn other things that you might want to try in the future. So I'll let Rachel give the last final closing moment. It's been a delight. You can see behind me, Better Together, March 20th. That is the motif, the logo that we're using for the next event. So hopefully we'll have a bigger and more robust group of both practitioners and also customers that we'd love to share all of your thought leadership and expertise. Rachel?
All I want to say is that we are blessed to have this community, and we know that this spreads thousandfold, and healthcare will change when it becomes profitable to be preventable. Okay. And we are all part of that as consumers, as patients, as practitioners, as clients. Let's make that change together. All right.
Because we are better together.
We are better together. Yep. Thank you guys. We'll see you
Thank
on
you.
March 20th.
Bye.
Thank you. Stay safe.